Hello once again on Dallas Cowboy Nations. The Dallas Cowboys are building momentum as training camp in Oxnard enter a critical stage, with a head coach Brian Scott Hamer leading the team into a new era. Every practices have become a battle for starting jobs, a roster spot, and opportunity to prove that the Dallas can return to a playoff contention in the NFL. One of the biggest headlines from the camp is the outstanding chemistry between a Dak Prescott and star wide receiver George Pickens. George Pickens has quickly become one of the most exciting players on the field, making a difficult catches and showing up explosive playmaking ability that convinced the Cowboys to bring him to the Dallas Cowboys. His partnership with CeeDee Lamb is already creating one of the NFL's most dangerous receiving duos, giving a Dak Prescott more weapons than he has had in previous years. The Cowboys' offense has looked sharp throughout opening practices, so a Prescott has been accurate and confident, while offensive lines has provided a solid protection during drills. Coaches are encouraged by the early rhythm of the offense, although they believe the real test will come during a full contact ported practices and preseason game. On defense, several young players are fighting hard to earn starting roles. So a rookie defensive back, Caleb Downs, has impressed the coaches with his athleticism, football IQ, and the ability to make a plays in coverage. So a rookie cornerback, Shavon Level, has also shown flashes of his potential, despite facing difficult matchups against an elite receiver during the Dallas Cowboys camp. The linebacker competition remains one of the most important battles in the camp. The Marvin Overshawn continued to emerge the defensive leader, taking on communication responsibilities while recovering his top form. So coaches are still evaluating whether additional help could be needed before a regular season begins, and making a linebacker a position to watch closely. So several players are also fighting for the final roster spots: wide receiver, running back, defensive linemen, and offensive linemen are competing every day to secure the places on the 53-man roster. A player like Ryan Flournoy or Treshon Holden and other young prospects have created exciting competition that could lead to a difficult decision for the coaching staff in the Dallas. So let's continue on with some transfer and the roster news on the Dallas Cowboys, also which is called the American team. The Dallas Cowboys have been relatively quiet on the transfer front during the opening day of the training camp. There have been no blockbuster signings announced this week, but the league insiders continue to believe a Dallas could explore adding a depth at a linebacker all along the defensive front if the right opportunity become available or before a regular season. A trade speculation continues, but no major move have been completed in this camp of the Dallas Cowboys. So the training camp now enter one of its most important phases as per the practices begin. This session will allow coaches to properly evaluate the offensive and defensive lines while identifying the players who deserve starting positions. Joint practices against the Los Angeles Rams and New Orleans Saints, followed by the preseason game, will provide the Cowboys with their biggest test before the regular season officially begin. So by ending these Dallas Cowboy updates, the atmosphere around the Dallas Cowboy is full of optimism. So a Dak Prescott look health and confidence. A wide receiver George Pickens is making an immediate impact, and young defenders are stepping forward and competing in the competition throughout the roster is intense. Although the question remains about the linebacker depth and the defensive consistency, a Dallas Cowboy appears to be moving in the right direction as the 2026 NFL season draws closer if the current momentum continues. So the Cowboys, who are being asked to raise their level to raise their levels. The Cowboys officially training camp preview emphasized the position battles, potential breakout players, and the areas where the roster still needs to improve. And now the priorities are on the competition is being much more physically. One of the biggest reasons Cowboys fans are excited about 2026 is the defensive overhaul. Christian Parker is now leading the defense, and early signs from the training camp suggest that the Cowboys want to play with the more speed, communication, and physicality. So the Cowboys' own coverage has highlighted a Parker defensive coaching structure and the changes taking place within the defensive staff. This is extremely important. Dallas cannot depend only on Dak Prescott and the offense to win the game if the Cowboys want to become a legitimate playoff team. The defense has to create stops, pressure quarterbacks, force turnover, and give the offense a better field position. And this is exactly what a Packers defense is trying to establish. The first padded practices have already provided some exciting signs. So for the Caleb Downs is already making a noise in the training camp of the Dallas Cowboys because he is one of the biggest names coming out of the Cowboys training camp is a rookie safety Caleb Downs. Dallas selected Caleb Downs with the number 11 overall picks in 2026 NFL draft, and the organization clearly expect him to become an important part of the defense. So, the Cowboys officially draft coverage described Downs as the versatile defensive backs who can play multiple roles in the secondary. That versatility could be extremely valuable. The modern NFL is built around the quarterback attacking defensive weaknesses. If you have safety who can move around, cover the receivers, play near the line of scrimmage, and communicate with other defensive backs. And early in the training camp, Downs have already been receiving significant attention during the first part of the practice. Downs was among the defensive players who stood out. This is exactly what the Cowboys fans wanted to see in the Caleb Downs. But if he can become reliable or starter who bring intelligence, speed, versatility to the secondary, his impact could be enormous. Another defensive player attracting attention is a cornerback Shavon Level. The Cowboys official report from the first part of the practice described a Level as one of the players who stood out, while another report highlighted now. Aggressively, he has been tested against NFL competition. This is an important storyline because a Dallas Cowboy need a young defensive back to develop quickly. If Lever can establish himself as the dependable contributor, the Cowboys could have a much deeper secondary than had previously. So now let's talk about one of the biggest moves Dallas made this offseason. Rashan Gary is now a Cowboys. Dallas acquired a Gary from a Green Bay in exchange for 2027 fourth-round picks. That trade immediately gave the Cowboys another experienced pass-rushing presence. Gary has already been one of the major storylines at a training camp, and the Cowboys official coverage has highlighted the intensity he has brought to Oxnard. For the Dallas, this move is about more than simply adding another name. The Cowboys need a pressure, and they need defensive linemen who can win one-on-one matchups. Now we get to one of the biggest questions from the Cowboys fans. So our Cowboys fans, are they finished making move? The answer is not necessarily, because the Dallas Cowboys are still on the trade before this season it starts. And recent reporting indicate that Jerry Jones has left the door open for the possibility of another significant move, while the Cowboys have also indicated that they remain interested in improving the roster.